Hello everybody, my name is Andrei Sichka. I am credit manager for the last couple of decades, mostly as a corporate credit manager and recently as a consultant, as a trainer, as a speaker, as a specialist in credit management. Today we share with you several can help you to reduce negative impact to deliver significantly better results in terms of your credit portfolios, your other parameters of credit management, which we will discuss later. So now let's get started. Holistic credit management is the opposite side of what is called fragmentation. The fragmentation can be easily explained with a very simple example, which I've shown in my article, Unite Fragmented Credit Function. Well, the idea in practical example is pretty simple. Imagine modern, big multinational company where cash application people are sitting somewhere in India. Then we've got credit analysts sitting in United Kingdom or in the United States somewhere in the headquarters. And then we have local credit managers or credit controllers who are sitting in the markets and supporting their sales teams. So one day, one of the customers don't pay their invoice. According to strict rules, all the shipments to this customer may be blocked. And then next day, credit analysts who see change in payment patterns of the customer start reviewing credit limits and say, okay, this company pays late, therefore there might be something wrong with them, and so on and so on. Finally, on I don't know, third or fourth day, or maybe in a couple of weeks, this is coming to the salespeople who become unhappy because credit limits are not reviewed or even went down. And then all the orders went on hold and so on and so on. The situation is progressing negatively. Then finally, one person in the office decides to give a call to a customer and ask what's wrong with them. And the customer says, "Oh, sorry, gents, you delivered goods late, therefore we're supposed to pay 2 weeks later." Well, this is an unpleasant situation, which is one of the examples of what is called fragmented function, where there are actually all the elements of credit function are in place in a company, but they are not working together as smooth as taking care of customer, but no one really takes care of final result, and the situation is getting worse, and this means more overdues, less satisfied customers, could be more bad debts, and so on and so on. But let us review, first of all, what is the current situation in credit management in the world. With the professional community, since they are very involved into reviews of the portfolios, they can share some numbers. So actually, average company in the world got 39% of their invoices paid late. The average DSO is 2 times higher than average payment terms, which in the end supposed to represent about 50% of overdue outstanding. And then on top of that, 52% of businesses ask their suppliers for the extended payment terms. So the situation with the trade credit management is very far from being rosy. At the same time, the credit management has some expectations from the business. So if we have a look from pure business view of credit management, we would see that, first of all, business expects zero bad debts. If the company has a credit management, the bad debts supposed to be somehow prevented, or they're supposed to be minimized to the minimum amount. This could be easily done actually by sales restriction, but at the same time nobody wants to sell less. Therefore, as you see, this rope walker has 4 degrees, but main of them is how to minimize bad debts and do not miss sales opportunities. So no one would expect credit management to prevent sales. Credit management exists to support sales, and this is the ultimate objective of their job. And in the end of the day, every opportunity which was missed due to credit reasons, unnecessary strict credit policy, all the situations like this do not add anything to the final score of credit management. So prevention of sales, minimizing of bad debts, then constant reduction of overdue. Like it or not, credit management is responsible for overdue directly, and the overdue outstanding would be always the face of a credit manager. So if overdue is growing, and if bad debts are growing, and if salespeople do not have enough support to meet immediate opportunities on the market, and they don't have adequate credit facility for the company growth, nothing of that would make business happy. So that's one thing. And finally, this everything supposed to be delivered at reasonable cost. Let's see how can we get closer to this result. One of the most important things to me in credit management, actually why customers pay. Most of the materials dedicated to credit management, all the classical literature, all the courses, obviously provide long and very detailed descriptions of reasons of customers' non-payment, causes because of cash flow issues, because of the delay payment for the purpose, they finance something else, so on, so on, so on. But for us, in order to achieve our purpose, which would be delivering minimum possible overdue sales support, less bad debts at reasonable cost, it would be much more important to concentrate not on what we don't want, because we don't want our customer to delay payments, we don't want our customers to fail. We want our customers to buy and pay on time. Therefore, we need to look at reasons why our customers pay and maintain the system which will be helping our customers to pay, and maintain the situation where our customers would be happy to pay. First of all, as you see on the slide, or they're capable to find additional finance, which could be an exceptional case, but again, customer knows where to get money to pay us. Then they have given adequate contractual terms, meaning that there is no extreme abuse of our negotiation position. So we didn't ask customer with the, I don't know, 90 days cash cycle. We may sign a contract with a 7-day payment term, but it would be extremely difficult for the customer to meet such an obligation. So when the contractual terms or credit terms for the contract, like credit limit, like payment term, like security requirement, are balanced, and so our customer is able to meet, this is like achievable thing for them, they would be able to pay. So we removed another obstacle for another reason for customers not payment. Then all the goods, all the necessary documentation, everything which is necessary as per contract has been delivered. So there is no excuse for customer if they decide not to pay. And then another good reason for customer to pay, meaning that all the records in their books are corresponding to ours, so there is no if I can use such a word, like misaccounting. So all the accounts are reconciled. So solvent customer with adequate payment term knows when they're supposed to pay, or what they're supposed to pay, and how much they're supposed to pay. If they preserve all these conditions in our relations with the customer is supposed to pay. Why this is also important? Because there are two types of marketing. There is a competition for the selling of goods, for the use of goods. So when we come to our customer, there are our competitors who are providing similar goods or services. As such, we compete for what customer would buy, but at the same time, cash on customer account is also subject to competition. So we're supposed to be as perfect as possible to receive this cash, to make sure customer gonna send this cash to us. The high performing credit function, which would deliver, or which is capable to deliver all of these results, would have several properties. Most of them are qualitative, as you can see on the slide. High-performing teams. I've built high-performing portfolios, and I've seen many examples in my consulting career that these four qualities, they're prerequisite for every team, every credit team, which is delivering very good or very high results. Not if like everything is zero, but very, very close to them, like possibly 3% of overdues, bad debts, which are hardly achieving 0.1% on annual basis. If there are bad debts write-offs at all, in some periods, and this is like 10, 15 people for the global credit department, which is quite small. So first of all, I start from the beginning. Most important quality of such a credit function is a commercial focus. This means that the credit team works perfectly and as one team with the sales department. So this is the credit department, the credit team helping to sell. This is the primary objective of credit management. This credit management function would be proactive. All the efforts, well, I would say 80% of efforts, put on prevention of unpleasant situation like bad debts, like customer failure to pay. So everything is concentrated on prevention, which is always cost effective and this is always generating outstanding results. This credit function is compatible with other functions, so credit department is not living on island. They are not doing something unclear to everybody. They deliver to other stakeholders, like to management, to the accounting team. They provide clear background for the bad debts provision. For the treasury, they deliver very good quality of cash inflow projections. And then there is another and most important property, integrity of credit management, or holistic credit management. There are 2 degrees or 2 directions of this integrity. Let's review them and see how they can work for you and for your business. First of all, we are talking about integrity of a credit portfolio. In the world, considering credit management as transactional function where they're supposed to take care of each and every particular customer, which is true, but only partially. A company has receivables, and these receivables somehow perform. Therefore, the most professional approach to credit management is to consider credit portfolio as a holistic thing, as it is shown on companies' annual accounts. So trade receivables, then you see bad debts provision, and you deal somehow with all of that, and you slice and dice it. What we want out of that receivables, as shown on the diagram, we're supposed to receive, very simplistic way, and we would like to receive more sales with less receivables, which means less expenses. But at the same time, we would like to have higher quality of the portfolio, meaning lower risk exposure, presumably a little bit higher security, and more credit-worthy customers in our portfolio. So credit management is an ongoing process of portfolio adaptation and optimization at the same time. Adaptation to the changing needs of business. Credit management is not the leading function, it's a supportive function of business. It could provide very good support, but it is not business itself. Therefore, credit management is to be adapted to the needs of business, to support business. And therefore, holistic view on the portfolio is extremely important for the decision making. So when you see, like when you take a decision about one customer, you're supposed to know how this would affect the whole portfolio, like when you accept risk or use security and see what would be the expenses and so on and so on. One of the interesting things about the implementation, or let's say optimization of credit management function, how the existence of this holistic picture affects the implementation of credit management, you can see on the slide. So normally, that's what happened in my career. I started with the cash collection, then I was doing credit control, then we started to think about using bank guarantees in order to reduce or actually prevent our bad debts because we were working on risky market. The next stage was, okay, whether or not we're supposed to secure all of our customers, or we need to secure only specific customers with the low credit worthiness, with the high credit risk. So we started to do credit risk analysis. Then, having that understanding, we started to adopt this credit risk evaluation and our payment terms. So we started to structure deals in different ways. So finally, we came to the portfolio analysis. So we developed that methodology. And what is interesting, when I was then in my consulting career, working with portfolio analysis, I got that very simple finding. So if we start from portfolio analysis and go backwards, so when we look at the performance of the portfolio, then we look at what are the payment terms provided, what is the portfolio performance, and so on, so on, we can see the exact area where we've got a potential to improve, the areas which require our special attention. So we concentrate our efforts and we achieve that improvement, optimization of the portfolio in time, double more faster than if we start from collection, if we start all these steps we did from the very beginning, which means more effective, less time, less money spent, more money saved. Integrity is integrity of credit process. About 50 tasks dedicated to credit management. They are ranging from payment allocation to credit policy review. They are divided in three main stages. It's customer setup, where we give customer term limit and the security requirement. Then there is a control. We control aging, meaning if customers pay us on time. Then we check the balance versus credit limit, and so we see whether or not our system adheres to set rules as a credit limit, and then we're supposed to check the validity of security. We all know that bank guarantee has a limit in time, so at a certain point when the validity time expires, this bank guarantee becomes a piece of paper. Then we're supposed to assure payments. We reconcile accounts with our customers. We are preventing possible reasons for overdue. All the imbalances, all the things which are not equal, it needs to be resolved before the due date. And if the due date came and we got all the reconciled stuff, we have to remind our customer. And this is where collection process, this is where the proactivity of credit function we see. Finally, I came to the fragmented credit function. As you see, from A to Z, from the first moment when we start working with the customer and to the final payment, when everything is done by one person, like I was doing at the beginning of my career, everything works more or less smoothly because I am the one. As I give an example, in the very beginning, when this credit analysts are reporting to one manager, then cash collectors reporting to another manager, and so on and so on and so on. This creates obviously silos issues. And this creates different objectives, and this means that the same issue would be resolved in much longer time, which could mean obviously a missing of sales opportunities, dissatisfaction of customers, and so on and so on. But this everything could be solved if the same values and if the whole process is actually reviewed and established by one specialist, which you see on the right picture. On the top, there is one head responsible for the whole credit management process. And this is actually the ultimate goal and the ultimate feature of holistic credit management. So if you've got like several groups of customers, it's much more better in certain circumstances when you put one person who would be responsible for everything, for customer setup, for the control, and then for the collection. If the setup and control are done properly, there is very limited room for the overdue outstanding customers start pay on time, because this person does not create additional job for him or herself. Therefore, results are going better. Sales team is more satisfied, more happy, customers more happy, they do pay on time. So customers kept buying and kept paying. And we got much more better results for the business. That's everything I wanted to share. Thank you very much for your patient attention. Have a nice whatever you have now.